company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, search for 31-year-old Oswaldo Vasquez Jr. ends in tragedy as his body is fished out of the New River 4 days after he went missing. While police do not suspect foul play, so far they are looking at all angles. Cops prepare to head out to Haiti. Mental health, a universal right. We'll tell you about the benefits of having a national health policy. Anti-traffic officers receive training in human trafficking. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, October 11th, 2023.
That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart. I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. What was your favorite part?
need your help. We're detecting increased aquatic activity 25,000 feet deep in the trench. It's an ancient ecosystem untouched by man. Whatever is down there is trying to make its way to the surface. This was a bad idea.
Just a little bit. Jonas, we've got company.
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
That's the apex predator.
Everybody make it to the station! You can make it! Keep going!
3 massive Megs and who knows what else have escaped the breach.
I just hope it goes better than last time.
What happened last time? You don't want to know.
This ain't the end. I saw you again.
Go! We've never seen this before. They hunted in packs.
We can relax. This place, Meg-proof. I mean, Jonas was always afraid of this, but I was also thinking...
Good evening. With your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. The missing report of 31-year-old Oswaldo Vasquez turned into tragedy this morning when his mangled body was found floating in the New River. After days of searching for the missing LICU employee, family members were notified of a badly decomposed body found behind BSI-ASR with missing limbs. Vasquez was reported missing on Sunday after he reportedly wandered off somewhere in a bushy area near BSI-ASR on Saturday night. With search efforts by family, friends, and colleagues ending in tragedy, an entire community is in mourning, while a family is left with more questions than answers as to what really happened to Oswaldo on Saturday night. Norma Ruiz reports.
4 days after he vanished without a trace, today the body of 31-year-old Oswaldo Vasquez was found floating in the New River in an area behind the BSI-ASR factory. Search efforts had been ongoing since Saturday night to locate Oswaldo after he went missing in this area here near BSI-ASR in the community of Tower Hill sometime after 8. The details surrounding his disappearance are a bit unclear, as official reports are that he wandered off while at Shell gas station located in front of the BSI factory. From there, his wife, brother-in-law, and 2 young children attempted to follow him as he traversed along the access roads near the sugar mill. Somewhere in that vicinity, his family lost track of him and would not see him alive again. He was then seen by a security guard in the area who reportedly found his wallet and the phone he had along with him. Now, while that person had previously reported that he had no interaction with Vasquez, aside from stopping him from attempting to jump over the fence of a nearby building, a recording obtained by Oswaldo's family maps out a lengthy interaction between the two where Oswaldo is heard asking for help to get home, while the male individual asks him for money. The recording is unclear in some areas, however, we will play a portion of that audio provided by family members.
¿Tienes corriente? ¿Ah? ¿Tienes corriente para llegar a mi casa? Bueno, no tengo corriente. Alumbra así porque llegué a mi casa. No, ahí no puedes ir. Voy así. No puedes ir ni un lado. Ahí tú monte. Después, de acá sí que voy a hacer. Nada. Nada, pues. Esperar hasta la mañana. Me van a esperar acá. Y se puede así, después voy así. Se puede así. Uno monte. Con el hombre así yo voy a llegar a mi casa. El hombre así me dijo, por favor. El hombre así me quiere ir a mi casa. No me gusta. Mi esposa está así, al hombre así porque vaya así y después así. Por favor. Me tiene que pagar. Y sí, voy a llegar con mi esposa. Quiere que pague.
After learning of that interaction between Oswaldo and the security guard, his wife, who had returned home to take her children, decided to call the phone once again. That is when the security guard answered, letting them know that Oswaldo was still with him in an area in front of L&R factory. That, however, was the last time anyone saw Oswaldo alive.
When the man answered, she said, well, when the phone got answered, she said, babe, where are you? So that we could go for you. And the man said, no, it's not your husband. The man told accordingly, this is now the security, the watchman that's in front of L&R told her, no, it's not your husband. Your husband is here giving trouble, so come for him. And then she asked, where? And the man told her it's in front of the L&R. And then my husband, my son, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law went into that vehicle immediately. They went out with the sole intention of picking up Oswaldo. When they reached there, the watchman told them he's no longer here. He went off, and then he stoned me with the phone and the wallet. And then they were like, but how did he went off? He went by that road, I didn't saw him. So he said he went beside there, and then he ended up to the back gate. But how? That's impossible. We were there searching. We were there with tennis, with long pants, and it was impossible for us to go through the side where he said he went, because that side is full of branches and prickle. He would have stumbled immediately. Any drunken person would have stumbled immediately. Now, yet from that day, we had that night, my husband and the four that went out to pick him up, they searched that area, and they didn't come home till 2 a.m. searching. My sister-in-law and my mother-in-law stayed at their home, and my husband and my son came back. I told him, you know what? Don't worry. He must have fallen asleep somewhere, and by 6, 7 in the morning, when the sun's up, he will find his home, because he's never sleeping out of his home. My sister-in-law called my husband, you know what, Cham? Oswaldo no come home. He no come home, and she started crying. So he got up immediately. He told me, you know what? He didn't come home. I told him, I tell her, let's go search. I tell her, go check. I tell her like that. Maybe he's still asleep, and then the sun done hot, and people they drink, they will get dehydrated. I tell her like that. So my son, him, the same four again went out searching. Right now, this time they also went out on the area again. Then my sister-in-law went about asking others about, if he was at their home or so forth, friends, calling friends and so forth, if by chance he went there, but that yielded no results.
The recording, along with other evidence gathered by the family, was given to police on Sunday, while the search continued but proved futile until this morning, when their worst fears were confirmed.
I heard the recording and so forth, and I told her that, and this is not correct, because how in the world will you come and this man will give you this wallet and this phone, and he will tell you he went behind the bushes. If anybody or anybody that is speculating things that are not like that, I ask them to come at that spot and go around in that bushes to let them see and feel the way we are feeling right now and what we are thinking. Because it's common sense that he wouldn't have gone through there, and if he had went there, he would have got hurt and stayed there. You understand me? So now we continue the search, and bam, we went to the police station. They did their report and so forth, and we came back, and then we continue searching because the search, we did not give up. We search all. When we reach home, it's almost 7 when it's dark, but we are there searching. Today, we decide that we will go again, but we will take a different route. We will go all the way back by Chanpai Ridge where the man live and so forth and stuff like that. And we went there. But when we went there, we had a gentleman that works in BDF, I believe. And then he got a call. And he said that a tour guide was on his way to Lamanai with some tourists. And he said that there's a body on the water behind BSI. But what I see, he has a big opening to the side here, right? And I believe if a crocodile was eating him, he wouldn't have a big split here, you know? And then he, like, one of his hand, like he had only this piece here, from the shoulder here to like the elbow, only that was there. The face was actually gone, only the skull was like set to the back. And it's a really horrible sight, you know, to find a person we cared for, a person that is familiar with us in a condition like that.
Oswaldo's body was confirmed to have several missing limbs. Now, while a post-mortem examination is being awaited, his family suspects foul play.
I actually do believe that he was chanced out of his life, because if they wouldn't have chanced him, he would have found his home, because Oswaldo is a family man. Oswaldo loves my little sister. We really care for Oswaldo because he's a family, like I said, right? And to the person that did this to my brother-in-law, may God be your judge, and one of these days, all of us have our day coming. How did he reach there? If you are drunk and you're in the bushes, to me, the way he was coming, he would have walked on the roadside, and when they went and circled, they would have found him either on that old road walking, they would have found him on the highway coming to Orange Walk, but they did not find him there. You understand? So his life was taken, and the evidence that we provided, I have the recording. It did not sound it clear. So the phone that had it clear, I took it and I put it and I voice recorded. Now I can hear it clear. And I know that it has to be something like this, because this man in all occasion, he did not even know that we had that recording.
As the family now contends with the death of their loved one, they are asking for justice from authorities.
Yes, he was with my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, but they were not the last ones to see him, right? And they were also with the children. So police need to do their part and really investigate and get down to the point of this, because we need justice for Oswaldo. Oswaldo is a loving husband. Oswaldo is a kind man, and he does everything for his family. Oswaldo had nothing. Oswaldo managed to get ahead in life without the help of anyone, for the sake of his family and the sake of his children. And that you could ask any of his children about him, and they would tell he has no problem with any one of us, with anyone. He has no problem with anyone. So what they really took chance of him, and we really need the police to get down, do their part now. Hopefully they will do their part now, because from day one they hadn't been doing their part. Even though we told him about certain evidence, we told them about things, they didn't do their part. So hopefully now they do something for us to have justice for him.
Results of a post-mortem examination is expected to be concluded sometime in the coming days. Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
As mentioned, the badly mangled body of who is believed to be 31-year-old Oswaldo Vasquez was found this morning floating in the New River. The body of the La Inmaculada Credit Union employee was in an advanced state of decomposition and was missing several limbs, including one of his arms. As investigations into Oswaldo's death advances, police do not suspect foul play, says Commissioner of Police Chester Williams.
The lifeless body was found floating in the river. I believe they were saying that certain parts of the limbs were missing. It would appear that he had been eaten by crocodile or some animal. And so the body was retrieved from the water and was taken to the medical school on Boom Road, where a postmortem is going to be conducted.
Is there any indication that those marks may actually be chop wounds?
At this time, no, we still don't suspect foul play. We'll have to wait until after the postmortem is completed, and then we'll be able to have a definitive cause of death moving forward from there. We are grateful to BSI, who assisted us with boats and drones, and if it weren't for their assistance, I don't think we would have been where we are right now.
Can you confirm if anyone has been detained in connection with this in terms of more recent?
Like I said, we don't suspect foul play at this time, so we don't have anybody detained now.
So are you able to clarify if at no point the wife was detained along with the brother-in-law?
I don't think they were detained. They were simply at the police station, as would normally be the case, to answer questions and to give statements. At the end of the day, they were the last two who would have seen him alive. And in their statement, what they told the police that they were behind the young man, trying to convince him to get back into the vehicle when he disappeared into the area. So, like I said, would normally be the case. They were taken to the police station so that police could have gotten a proper account from them in terms of what transpired leading up to the young man's disappearance.
Oswaldo had gone missing on Saturday, October 7th after an outing with his wife and her brother Ruben Sutherland. Lenny Vasquez told cops that Oswaldo had been drinking and upon making a stop at gas station, decided to exit the vehicle, saying that he was going for a run. Reports say he ran up the road which leads to the BSI ASR factory. Upon reaching this intersection, he stopped for water before running off again, this time taking Sutherland's phone with him. He is said to have made his way down the access road which leads to the Guinea Grass Cutoff. While his wife says they made attempts to follow him, they lost sight of him after he jumped into some bushes. That was the last time he was seen by his family. Oswaldo's wallet along with his brother-in-law's phone were later found by a security guard in the area who reported that he may have seen the missing man attempting to climb the fence of a nearby building. While that is the statement given by Lenny, cops are looking at all angles, according to Campo Williams.
I'm sure that they're looking at that and other possibilities. I know that they're busy in the area likewise looking for surveillance cameras that may be able to aid the investigation.
And then there will be a toxicology, and what do you call it? Test done.
That is normally the case. The pathologists at the postmortem stage will normally extract samples for toxicology testing.
While Williams did not say, we are told police are looking at one individual as a person of interest. The death of 31-year-old Oswaldo Vasquez has undoubtedly left a sense of gloom amongst the entire Orange Walk community. As it pertains to his work family at the La Inmaculada Credit Union here in Orange Walk, they have been left to mourn the death of a colleague described as one of a kind.
Oswaldo has been with us for 3 years now. He started in 2020. Was always somebody that will truly be missed by his colleagues. He's somebody that one can consider a jack of all trades, you can say. Very smart, intelligent guy, somebody that will never tell you no, somebody that is very resourceful, because we were even wondering, like, even if Oswaldo gets lost somewhere, he will find a way to get out. because he's somebody that knows the little tricks of the trade, right? He's somebody that, like I said, very helpful at work. Everybody truly loves him, appreciate him. He's somebody that will never get upset with you, but very helpful. And he was with us and helping us for different activities. You know, we did a lot of outreach activities. He's number one to say, you know, he wants to volunteer or he wants to be a part of it. He wants to see how he can make things better. Service to the members. He was our marketing officer. Him and another one of his colleagues, Zenny Ramos. No? They both work very closely together. But very helpful, and he's like the go-to guy. Somebody that you will ask for, you know, assistance, and he will be the first one to say, yes, I can assist you. What you need, and also very funny. He will crack a joke and you will laugh. Even if you're having a bad day, Ozzy, we call him Ozzy, de cariño, like we say in Spanish, and he will make you laugh. He will make your day so much better.
Since receiving the news of his disappearance over the weekend to today's tragic news, HR officer at LICU, Susana Castillo, says his colleagues have not left his family's side, aiding in search efforts, and now left with a deep sense of loss.
Well, the thing is that, well, I can speak from my experience. I was not in town when that happened. I was away. But we have a group chat, no, and we would keep, you know, updates for staff and things like that. We saw first, it was shared by one of our colleagues. And so we saw it and we said, well, I wonder what happened. You know, you're wondering, like, well, maybe it wasn't as serious as it seemed. Maybe it's just maybe one of those binges. You never know, no? People go on some binges and then they appear the next day. But then we started seeing it being shared on Facebook by his family members, by other people, more of our colleagues. Then the next day he wasn't found, and then it started becoming a bit serious. And we are saying, well, this is not just somebody that's maybe hurt or something has to have happened. No? And so immediately my manager mobilized some of our members, well, some of our staff, and some of them on their own, no, said that they wanted to come together to see how we can assist as best as we could. I personally cut my trip a bit short because I wanted to see how best I could assist, you know, and because he's the type of person that you do want to assist him. You want to find a way to help him and find him alive, and that's what we wanted for him to be alive, because we couldn't have Ozzy die on us. Right, that's the definite no-no. I tell my manager, we are like beside ourselves, in shock, you know, all of this. So when we saw the days rolling by, we said, you know, now it's definitely we're looking for a body. We're definitely, you know, it's oblique, you know, that the chances are that we would find him alive. And so we were keeping close contact with his dad, with his other family members, you know, and got contact information from them for them to keep us updated with whatever. But it was a very confusing situation for all of us. I imagine his family, his close relatives, even for us at the office, it was very somber. We were just like zombies in the office trying to focus, and we can't because his presence is very much missed, you know, and the silence was so like deafening for us, because he's somebody that would, you know, immediately like, Manning, Miss Susie or Manning, you know, he would come into the office and crack a joke or something, and then you have to laugh, right?
Did you know that roadway network is not only important to the nation's overall economic vitality by providing for the movement of freight and commodities, but it also provides societal benefits as well, for example, access to schools, services and work, leisure travel, and general mobility. Here in Belize, having paved the streets provide a smooth and durable all-weather traveling surface that benefits a range of vehicles and users, including commuters, commercial motor carriers, delivery and service providers, local users, leisure travelers. With that in mind, Mayor Rigo Vellos and his team continue working on streets across town. Today, Vellos was in the company of his administrator overseeing works being done in the downtown area. He elaborated more on why the council is investing in infrastructure to make Corozal a destination for local and international tourism.
Today, we're putting down primer on 8th Street North on a part of First Avenue. This is an ongoing project that we've been preparing for the past 2 weeks, you know, or a little over 2 weeks. We had a couple delays with the cave-ins that were found on the Street North and First Avenue. But today we're finally putting down the primer, and after that, hopefully next week, once the weather allows us to work, we will do the first coat. You know, it is very important for us, for an area like 8th Street, Norton, and part of First Avenue, to be well paved. We keep preaching and saying that we want Corozal as the next tourism destination. Well, infrastructure plays a big role, you know, and paving streets like 8th Street, Norton, and First Avenue, and even other streets within the town limit, does play a big role whenever we talk about tourism. You know, regardless if it's local tourism or the international type of tourism, right? So for us, it's very important to do the proper work. And it was not only paving, but we have constructed a drain that will help this area, the way how water exits out. And we are currently digging out another drain more down on 8th Street, or closer to First Avenue also, where we see the need of drains. You know, it's useless for any town council to do its paving and not put the proper drainage. Eventually the street will not last, and then we have to keep in mind that it's actually the people's money that you're spending and investing on these streets. So it's best if you do it once, you do it the right way.
The streets will be locked off until when?
Basically, the process is we put on the primer, we wait a little while, maybe an hour and a half, so the ground sucks in the primer, and then we come and we throw sand, and right after that, the vehicles will be allowed to pass on it.
The project is being implemented by RJB Company through funding from the Ministry of Finance. However, in order for the streets to last, the community is asked to follow and respect all traffic laws when traversing the upgraded areas, especially those that are heavily trafficked.
Progress to bring some type of problem now, and I want to ask the motorists to drive with care. Yes, it's a pretty street. It will be a well-paved street, but at the same time, it's our responsibility to take care of it and to be careful how you drive, because we have pedestrians and it's a busy area because of the sea. The location allows the street to be very busy, and we have a lot of people walking on the side, and in the evenings we have a lot of people running and exercising, you know. So to drive with care and to be responsible, right? Eventually we will come along and put the proper bumps that is needed at its respective spots, you know, so that traffic can easily flow and pedestrians can feel safe also.
I was just going to ask you about that, because I know that in front of Tortuga is a place where not only sea lovers go to swim during the weekends, but also they go over to the restaurant and have food or drinks with their family and friends.
Right. I mean, the finished product will have its pedestrian ramps where it's needed. That's for sure.
Climate change weaves through our daily lives, and it is causing pressure on governments around the world. But how does a country address the increasingly rising issue that disrupts natural disasters that needs fast and precise management? In a smart move today, the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management signed agreements with a number of organizations in order for the country of Belize to be at the right position to respond to an emergency if a disaster would strike. Minister of State in the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management, Ramon Cervantes Jr., spoke to reporters after the signing.
What we are doing is we are signing formal agreements with more organizations so that we get more of the community, more sectors of the community involved in what is disaster risk management. As I think we all know that the ministry of this, that includes disaster risk management is fairly new as part of a ministry, and disaster risk management is everybody's business. A disaster affects all of us, and as we see the effects of climate change, then we see that we are exposed to multiple hazards. We see what has happened not only here, but in other countries, the United States, Canada, and Greece, what types of disasters that probably have been unprecedented in some cases. So we need to be prepared, and now we are going beyond disaster risk management, and we are looking at disaster risk reduction. Even before a hazard or a disaster comes knocking on our door, we need to be prepared, and part of that preparation includes involving as many sectors of the society, of the country as possible, to be able to mitigate the effects of any disaster, and also to be able to respond well to it and then recover as quickly as we can.
Since data is readily available, planning and executing should be a matter of preparedness, says Cervantes.
For example, the Statistical Institute of Belize is data, data on population sectors. There are different kind of data that can be utilized in evaluating situations of different areas that are affected, particularly, say, in a disaster. The Chamber of Commerce, businesses are affected by that also. You have all types of business, agro-business especially. Agriculture is very much affected when disasters strike. The Boy Scout, the Scouts of Scouts Association of Belize, they can be very helpful, and they need to be, trained, oriented from very young to treat with these situations. Then we have the, which was the other one? The
Scout.
Yeah, the Scouts, correct. Yeah.
Scouts is the youngest one?
Yes, that's the youngest one. Oh, and the Belize Red Cross Association, the Belize Red Cross Society, they are very, very important also. And it's in managing disasters and responding to them.
Coming up next, a training for transport officers in the area of anti-human trafficking. Stay tuned.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one?
Because this is the world where my mom lives. I'm not gonna lose her again. Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets. It's my face. You stole my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe. Zod.
We've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future. What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry. Barry, what are you doing? Our kids are gonna want to see this.
Come on, let's go! We gotta catch up with Scooby-Doo!
In the middle of nowhere, Scooby-Doo found a little courage.
That's me!
It's my friends.
Oh!
And a lot of adventure.
Like, man, this place is totally freaky. Why is the water dripping upward?
Now,
If you're in a situation, I've never seen cicadas that big before. More weird and creepy, mysterious stuff happens in nowhere than anywhere else in the world.
it's on our flag.
Getting scared, then welcome to the town that isn't there.
Enjoy.
Yes, there's nowhere to run.
The insects grow to crazy sizes here.
Where creepy is a compliment, bananas is a verb. Bravery, I'm confident, is still a dirty word.
And nowhere to hide.
Gesundheit!
Oh, thank you.
If you're falling down a rabbit hole, the only way is so laugh until you cry a bit, and then you get unstuck. Are you nutty as a fruitcake? Are you loony as a tune? And quit your scowl and do some howling at the moon, like me. Woohoo!
We gotta save Scoob!
Straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Woohoo! Jackpot! Watch the masters at work!
Needs more mustard. Excuse me, must have been something I ate.
Look for it on digital and DVD.
Mental health is a universal right. That is the theme for this year's Mental Health Day. As such, the launching of the National Mental Health Policy yesterday came at a crucial time, more so after how COVID-19 disrupted the way of life of every person living on Earth. Yesterday, while talking to reporters, Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa, Director of Public Health and Wellness, underscored the importance of yesterday's launch as the ministry works towards a holistic approach when it relates to mental health in Belize.
Heal as a society. Important part of the Ministry of Health's focus is to work on prevention of disease and illnesses and with promotion of wellness. And we do know that health affects every aspect of our lives. Every aspect of our life impacts our health. So we have something called social determinants of health, which are basically where you live, where you work, who you live with, what kind of job you have. So there are many aspects, you know, the financial aspects like you mentioned. And to actually impact social determinants of health, it's not just a one ministry approach. It's a holistic approach. We have responsibility to ensure that we improve health literacy, as I said, that we sensitize the public about mental illness, that mental illness is not only what people think about before as schizophrenia or illnesses that you need admission or more curative services, but mental illness, like you quite rightly said, has increased due to more than likely the pressures of the world. We've gone through the COVID pandemic. There was a lot of fear globally with regards to the pandemic, of the uncertainties, and anxiety, depression, all these things, obsessive compulsive behavior, all these things are now easier to recognize, and we want to ensure that we give the support and we provide the help that's needed for persons who are experiencing any level of mental illness.
Paho, who directly represents the World Health Organization in Belize, has been a long-standing ally of the country. The representative spoke on its involvement in making the national mental health policy a reality and what it means for Paho as an organization.
I'm very, very pleased that PAHO WHO could be a part of this initiative
to help the Ministry of Health and Wellness in Belize to update their mental health policy. They did have a policy before, since 2008, and this really is an updated policy that really puts it into perspective in terms of the current situation globally and the current situation in Belize. And it really includes and encapsulates the new initiatives that are taking place globally. One of the main focus of this policy is to ensure that efforts are made to help to reduce the stigma and discrimination against persons who have mental health conditions. So as PAHO, we are very, very pleased to have partnered with the Ministry of Health and Wellness in revising and reviewing this national mental health policy. Objective, who is separated from the situation. So persons may not always be able to talk to family members, but certainly you're a religious leader or a professional like psychologist. And I think in the healthcare setting, we do need more of those. We do need more psychologists, clinical psychologists, counselors, social workers, because they have special training in how to speak to persons, how to engage with persons, and how to help them to manage and navigate their situation. And it's not just about telling them what to do, but to come up with a solution and helping to facilitate implementing those solutions in their best interest.
Belize is preparing to send troops to Haiti to assist in the fight to free the country from criminal gangs. The international community has agreed to form a multinational task force that will be led by Kenya. The United Nations Security Council recently approved the endeavor, and Belize has been asked to render aid. Last week, Minister for National Defense Florence Marin confirmed that Belizean soldiers will join the Kenya-led United Nations Security Mission, with at least 50 soldiers and Coast Guards being deployed as the country's representatives on the mission. Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams confirmed that officers of the Belize Police Department are also willing to enlist for deployment.
Yes, officers have approached and said that if there should be a deployment to Haiti, they would like to go. Again, police officers are aware that when it comes to the nature of our work, we're subject to be deployed anywhere across the country, and if needs be to go and do peace mission in other countries, then that is the case. Every year we have Operation Trade Winds, and Operation Trade Winds do prepare the member state for situations like these, in the event that they need to gather troops from different countries to go and assist other countries. And while some of us might look and say, but why go to Haiti when we have our own issues at home? We must understand too that we have our own issues that could eventually lead to us requiring our counterparts or our neighboring countries to come in and assist us in the event that, let's say, for example, something Guatemala. And so we cannot sit and say that we should not help because it is not our problem. Sometimes other people's problem could end up becoming ours, and sometimes we may find ourselves in positions where we would need assistance from others, and if we are not willing to assist now, what would then trigger other countries to assist us if or when we need assistance? So we need to strike a balance in terms of what we see and decisions that we would make. But at the end of the day, it's a matter for the Prime Minister to decide if in fact police officers are going to Haiti, and if that is the case, when and how much police officers. As a Commissioner of Police, I will yield to the directives given by the Prime Minister, who is the chief in this country in terms of the deployment of security forces.
Transportation officers gathered in Belize City today for a one-day training session aimed at providing the proper tools to officers that will enable them to be able to identify and respond to a situation where human trafficking is suspected. For context, human trafficking is defined as the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, which can be done through forced labor and even sexual exploitation. It is a sad reality that happens in our small Central American country, even when the government of Belize is dedicated to end trafficking by improving its enforcement of anti-human trafficking laws. And to foster collaboration, RET International hopes that through this training, the traffic employers can be more educated and aware to be able to engage effectively when the need presents itself while on the line of duty.
Today we did training for transport officers within the Belize district. We are executing a project where we are raising awareness about human trafficking countrywide. So we started in Orange Walk and Corozal, and today we are doing Belize City. So we have officers from the transport department and from Belize City Council.
Could you share with us more or less what was taught to them during this training?
Yes, we give them the basics about human trafficking and also how to identify when a case of human trafficking is occur and how the traffickers operate and what impact it has on the victims of human trafficking.
How do they fit in as stakeholders in this particular objective?
Yes, the traffickers move individuals from one point to the next. So we want to reach out to those who are in the transportation industry, land, sea, and air. So today we are doing the terrestrial individuals.
And in order to arrest human trafficking in Belize, RET International has joined with other stakeholders to accomplish that aim.
This initiative has come about from our work in trafficking. We have two projects ongoing right now, the Safe Belize and the T-Leap, which is currently being implemented with transport stakeholders, with our consultation with the ATIPS Council, which is an arm of the government, and other stakeholders. It was identified that transport industry is a vulnerable industry for trafficking, right? Persons being moved or transportation stakeholders being utilized to move persons from one area to another. And so it's key for the awareness to be built within this industry so that persons know what is trafficking, what it looks like, the indicators, and how to prevent becoming involved in it. You know, we also touch a bit about the law as well. So it's an effort to raise awareness, increase awareness across the board, and our transportation partners have been very receptive to the information shared.
Two defendants in Belize were sentenced on October 28, 2021 for charges related to child trafficking after being convicted on September 28, 2021. Justice Antoinette Moore sentenced Jeffrey Perez to 12 years in prison for child sexual exploitation. Petrona Montejo was sentenced to 10 years for providing a child for sexual exploitation. This decision marked the first human trafficking conviction in Belize since March of 2020 and the second since 2016. The gigantic Waterloo wants Mark Lizarraga off the appeals tribunal. It made it clear in a communique it released, which was also shared with the media. Lizarraga, who sits as the chair of Belize Telemedia Limited, according to Waterloo, cannot sit at the appeals tribunal because he stands to be in the position of conflict of interest. Lizarraga is not the first, but the third appointed member of the tribunal to be targeted by Waterloo. His predecessors include Lucy Fleming and Paul Hunt Sr. Today, Minister of Sustainable Development, Climate Change, and Disaster Risk Management, Ramon Cervantes Jr., was asked whether a decision has been reached in relation to Waterloo's petition.
Is there an update on the call by Waterloo to have Mark Lizarraga resign from the appeals tribunal?
I don't know.
You don't?
Yeah, I don't know.
But in your view, do you think that the appeals tribunal can remain impartial if Mark Lizarraga remains on the tribunal?
That's an ongoing matter, and I really wouldn't want to comment on that because I don't have all the facts.
Okay. And then how is Belize managing its image of being environmentally friendly when it just gave green light for oil exploration in 7 southern communities?
Well, again, I am not sure certain about all the details that entails, and I really don't want to comment on something that I'm not fully informed of.
The Office of the Ombudsman will celebrate the first ever Ombuds Day this coming Thursday, October 12, 2023. The day will seek to uphold and celebrate the virtues of transparency, accountability, and fairness. The Office of the Ombudsman will kick off the day with an inaugural ceremony followed by an exposition at the Memorial Park starting at 9:30 a.m. Ombuds Day will provide a space to display the role that the Ombudsman Office plays in the Belizean governance framework, which revolves around ensuring that governmental institutions, public services, and officials are consistently accountable and responsive to the Belizean citizens' needs and concerns. The day will be celebrated under the theme Transparency, Trust, and Transformation. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, October 12th, here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.